Candy. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
Thank you. Thank you
Glad
for
you're here.
having me.
Yeah. Candy, you practice in Louisiana.
I do.
I
Yeah.
met you at the AMTA Louisiana State Convention in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And Candy serves as the Louisiana State President. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm the AMCA Chapter President for Louisiana.
Awesome. Awesome. And, I met some of your massage clients and they just raving fans you have. Yeah. Tell me
Yeah.
a little bit about where you work.
So I have my own practice. I'm in downtown Covington in Louisiana, and it's a small town, so everybody knows everybody there. And I'm in the heart of downtown, which is nice. I have four other therapists that work with me in my building, and we have an esthetician and a hypnotherapist there as well. So, yeah,
That's
we got a
amazing.
good variety of people.
And how's business going for you?
Absolutely wonderful. I'm booked out a couple months now, I think, in advance. And I have another therapist that's getting close to being booked a month out. And my part timers just started, so they're getting there. Yeah.
Awesome. And how long has your business been open?
I've been open since technically when I graduated, December 2016 was when I graduated, but I was working part time at a chiropractor office and just getting started with my business. And it just after I think I worked 3 years at the chiropractor office part-time, but kept cutting out days there because my business was growing. So since 2016, almost 9 years, almost close to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Amazing. And
Yeah.
what kind of massage do you like to practice?
So I do a bit of everything. When I first started, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just knew I loved doing massage. So typical Swedish relaxation massage. And then I went to my first AMTA national convention and I ran into the Upledger booth and I'm like, I need to try this. So I got into craniosacral work and then I've taken a lot of the higher up classes in that. I'm all the way up to, Cranio 1, Cranio 2, SER 1 and 2, and then some of the little extra classes they have. And with the state AMTA, our conventions, we started bringing along good names like James Waslowski. So I got certified through his orthopedic certification with his work, and I combined the two. I remember one convention that I met him, the first time I met him, I let him know we were having dinner as a board with the teacher. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to teach your stuff, but I'm mixing it with craniosacral work. And that sounds good. So, yeah, I love that work. I mix everything together. And then I've taken true dynamic structural dynamics classes with Lynn and Ann Teachworth, and I mix in myofascial work. And it's really just listening to the client's body. And I've got so many things in my toolbox that I can use for them.
Yeah. How awesome is it that we have every massage therapist is so unique. We're like little snowflakes. And
Yeah.
each class that we take is like a branch on our little snowflake, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And a craniosacral branch is not a bad branch to have. That's for sure.
It's one of my main modalities. I feel like now, I get a lot of children because of that. I was working on kids before, mostly for structural things that were going on with them. And then I started to incorporate a little bit of the cranial work with the kids. And then all of a sudden, people just kept bringing me their children to work on, which is awesome. I love working on kids. It's one of my favorite things to do.
So
So
how do you build your business?
I definitely network locally with the community. We have a business association, the Covington Business Association, and I join them. I go to their meetings and I speak about what we do. The chiropractor, when I worked there, it actually helped build a lot of my clientele. And then word of mouth for sure. And we have a small community where there's always something going on in Covington. And luckily I'm right downtown and all the stuff happens right next door to my office because that's the little park and the trailhead that we have there. So they see my sign and yeah, that's a lot of where I get my business from.
Nice. So you've got a good location for walk-ins?
Oh, I do. I don't take walk-ins, but if we had the schedule for it, yes, it
Yeah,
would definitely work.
if you
Yeah.
needed to take or if you could take walk-ins, that would be great, right? But it sounds
Yeah.
like you guys are all booked up for a while, so that's fantastic.
Right. It's
I mean,
amazing.
So, is your business at all seasonal or are you pretty steady?
I'm actually pretty steady. I do like when I was working at the chiropractor office, I remember seeing on Facebook on the massage post, oh, this is a slow month. And we've been so blessed that we haven't really had that slow time. Like I haven't as a massage therapist and even the ones that work with me. I think that when it gets slower, it just means I'm booked less further out versus actually not having the clientele. I feel like I'm blessed. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
totally appreciate this because I'm kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
I'm always booked.
Mm.
Sometimes I'm booked out 3 months out, and sometimes it's 3 weeks, and
Yeah.
you just never know, but I'm always booked.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. So, I mean, when I went to Louisiana, I have to say I was so impressed with the network that you've created in your community, both through the AMTA and through your regular business, you know?
Yeah.
Think you've done a great job of that. And I really want to share with our community of listeners how and why networking with people like the AMTA, it doesn't have to be AMTA, but people like the AMTA, how it helps your business grow.
So when I first started as a massage therapist, and I came from a business background, and I wasn't and being social and everything. And then when I found out I'm going to be in a dark room with just one person, I'm not going to talk. This is going to be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love to talk. And I made sure that I made friends with all the massage therapists as soon as I graduated that were in my area. I went and got massage from them. I mentored under a few of them. And I think another way that I've gotten to be where I'm at is, becoming friends with those other massage therapists. I had one that retired that referred a bunch of her clients to me. And then we all have different things that we're great at. So I refer out constantly. I have a friend who's great with herbs and everything, and she's an herbalist as well as a massage therapist. And I know there's certain things that she's great at. I'll send them that way. I have another one who deals with sound frequency. I'll send them that way if they need some more emotional help that I'm not the right fit for. But just networking that way. I mean, and getting to know who's in my community. Downtown Covington is such a small place. There's restaurants, little shops here and there, and all the business owners are great. And I make sure they all know who I am. And that's how you met Lucy at the convention. That's how I met Lucy was I hung out in downtown Covington and so did she. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and she's a small business owner over there and she spreads my name around all over the
Nice.
place. Yeah.
Nice. You guys help each other out. I mean, it's very
Absolutely.
complementary businesses for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, how great. I mean, I feel like sometimes our community, we are in a dark room all day long.
Yeah.
And I think we forget that we're a part of society. Like we're a
Yeah.
part of this bigger monstrosity of a society. I mean, it's so fun and safe in our little massage therapy bubble. And we like it here because it's comfortable.
Right.
But
Yeah.
to really grow your business, I mean, you have to be pounding the streets, right?
Yeah, you do. You have to get to know who's around you and you also have to look for who's your clientele base. What are you looking for? Are you looking for the moms that want to relax or are you looking for somebody who's injured or what are you going for with
Right.
your practice?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, who's your target market and how are
Yeah.
you going to reach them and how are
Mhm.
they going to find you? Yeah, it's all great. How have you been able to educate your clients on using craniosacral work rather than the elbow?
The elbow. So that's a good question. I always, at every CBA meeting, it's the Covington business. I let them know because I don't think there are very many massage therapists in the CBA. So we get to give our little 1 minute drills that we do. And one thing that always gets them is when I explain part of what's going on with cranial work. It really depends also on what they're looking for. If it's somebody who says something about, oh, my neck is doing this and my sinuses or whatever, it's something different versus the part of the cranial work that is the emotional release part. I'll let them know, when you get into a car accident, your whole body jumps. You go, and your muscles remember that reaction and that emotion, that fright, that scared is stuck in there. If you don't get it out, it's going to hold that muscle tension. Your muscles have memory. And so basically with craniosacral work, what I do is I hold space for your muscles. And once your muscles feel like, oh, I'm being supported, okay, then they start to relax. And that's when you can or you don't have to have your emotional release of that. And then your muscles will not forget, but it'll pass through instead of being stuck in that
Right.
space.
Right.
Yeah. So,
And how do you make sure that I'm sure you ground yourself to make sure that energy doesn't come into you, right?
yes, absolutely. Like I actually just I teach at a massage school as well, but I teach my students how to ground themselves like it was day 2. Usually it's day 1 or 2. I use something that I got from the Silva method, and it's a counting backwards technique. The Silva method has you count back from 100, but I have them start at 10 or 5, and I have them close their eyes. You look at the back of your forehead while your eyes are closed, and you just count slow and breathe, counting down from 10 all the way down to 1. It calms them down, and, I make sure if I don't do that, that I do something close to that before I get in the room with my clients. I also make sure I get all my energy out. I do work out every morning, almost every morning. I'm trying to be good about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I have other things that, I have a vibration plate at my office. If I'm not quite awake yet or I'm not focused, I'll stand on the vibration plate for a little while before I go in with my client. So that definitely helps.
Well,
Yes.
I never thought of it to use it as a cup of coffee. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't have one, so I don't use it that way, but I've used it in my chiropractor's office before, you know. But wow, that's a great idea. So, you're an instructor at a local massage school. What do
Yeah.
you teach?
I teach the modality portion of massage. So we have an anatomy teacher and then we just have modalities. Right now, I'm just getting started with this class. Their second day was Saturday. I teach in the evenings. They're starting with Swedish, just the basics, getting to know massage, getting hands on each other.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about our industry?
I think the can our industry, I love the connection with the client personally. I try not to carry my clients home with me. I try not to, because that'd be a lot. But I get to work with families. Like I have one family that I had at least 2 of the sisters text me today for massage or just to let me know how they're doing. That connection, they're going through, if some of them are going through a lot, then they'll let me know. And I don't know, it's just a great community. And I feel like family with some of my clients. I don't cross the line, but
Yeah.
yeah, but it's so awesome to have that connection with people that I'm somebody that they trust. I had another client recently tell me something about, I can tell you anything. You don't judge. This is my safe space. And I love being that safe space for people. It's awesome.
I'm so happy that you're that for people. I mean, most of us are in the massage therapy world, but it's so nice that, especially now with all the stress of the world, happening, there's so many places that you don't feel safe,
Right.
and it's nice to know that anywhere you go, if you look for a massage therapist, you can usually find an empathetic person,
Right. Yeah.
you know. It's kinda nice. Now, will you be coming to Dallas for the national convention?
Yes. And I can't wait because 2
Yeah.
of my favorite teachers are going to be there. I'm taking James's class and Carrie D'Ambrosia's class.
Very good.
I'm so excited. Yeah.
Very good. That'll be great. We have a booth. I'm so excited.
Oh,
We'll be
awesome.
right at the entrance. So if you or any of our listeners are looking for massage supplies, we'll be there for you. Now, you shared with me something at the show. I don't know if you remember this or not, and you can tell me if this is true or not true, but are you going to be running for a national board position on the AMTA?
I am. So my goal is to be AMTA's 100th year national president. So I think I got 20 years left. No, 19 years left, maybe
Nice.
something like that. I'm working my way that way. I want to take maybe, I don't want to take a break ever from AMTA, but right now I'm president. gonna probably step down to a more comfortable role after that for a little bit, and then I am gonna ramp up again to try to be AMTA's 100th year national president. That's been a goal.
That's super cool. I love
Yeah.
that. I want to support you in your goal. Just let
Yeah.
me know how we can do that.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
awesome.
because I mean, that's pretty exciting. 100 years is a long time.
Right? Yeah. I remember going my first national convention was the 75th year anniversary, and I was like 25 years, and I was doing the math. I can't remember how old I'll be in that many years,
Yeah.
but I was doing the math and I was like, "Yes, I can get closer to retirement and be national president. That would be awesome." So that was my goal. I set the goal of 100th year president. That's what I want.
That's awesome. We're
Yeah.
so thankful to have people like you that volunteer for the AMTA. I mean, I volunteered a lot over the years for Texas. You know,
Yeah.
in Texas, you're in Louisiana. Now, I've never had aspirations of being on the national board, but if I had a leader like you, I would probably be able to serve on the national board. We might be able to do that together.
That is awesome.
I
I
support
appreciate
you.
that.
I
Hey, I
mean,
can let them know, "Hey, I got people already. Let's go."
yeah, that's right. I mean, this is a long way away. It's a few years away, and who knows what I'll be doing then. But I mean, I'm a lifer for the massage industry.
Oh, me too.
I
Yeah.
mean, I just created handcrafted therapy, this whole product line and this whole business, and I'm
That's
in.
yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. And you're
Yeah.
doing a great job too. I loved your products. And I thank you so much for coming to our convention. That was
Thank
awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool. It's
Yeah.
so fun to be able to support other surrounding states. But I also wanted to talk to you about a project I'm working on that's about to launch. This is going to be a really funny question for you. What is the funniest story or thing that's happened to you on the massage table that you're willing and able to share? Do you have something that's, you know,
Okay. I got
appropriate?
two.
Okay.
This is a cute one. I have a little, well, I say he's 6 or 7. He's older than that now. This little one that I've been massaging since he was 2, he had some heart issues and had surgery, so his back isn't quite aligned, so he gets massages because he gets tension. And I've been massaging him since he's 2, and that was close to when I first started. He's gotta be, oh man, 11, 10 years old around there. Oh, that makes me so sad to think how old he is.
Aw.
When he was about 4 years old, of course, he plays on the phone or whatever, just something to keep him distracted so I can work on him. And he got in trouble with his mom, and his mom took the phone away in the middle of the session. And it'll be fine. Just relax for a minute. And I worked on him, and he's leaving. He was really upset at his mom, and he turned back at her when we're walking down the hall, and he looks her in the face. He says, "No TV for you tonight." And it was the cutest thing. I had to, like, stop and let them finish walking down the hall so I could get it out the laughter out and then go with it. It was so sweet.
That's cute. That's
Yeah.
very cute. I wanted to share with you, I'm actually going to be writing a book. I'm going to be writing a book. It's going to be called Tales from the Table.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'll be asking for submissions for stories like this. And what I'll do is highlight the submission winners in the book and put links to their websites and like a little bio of of them and their massage business.
Nice. That
So
is cute.
thank
I
you.
love that idea.
I'm trying to compilate some of these stories from the podcast, but that hasn't really worked out as well as I thought it would, and that's okay. I think
Yeah.
submissions are gonna work.
Oh,
So
yeah.
be looking for that, and I'll make sure to send you the link for the submission. So if you wanna, pass it around, we can
Absolutely.
yeah, we'll post it on the podcast link too once we get it up. We're working on it though. It's very exciting. Very exciting. So let me think about how I want to ask this question. So, how would you help a therapist find their niche?
That is a good one. I always ask my students at the beginning of the school year, where do you see yourself and what kind of massage? And they have one idea, and always by the end, it always changes for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yep.
I know just kind of like just getting a feel for their hands and getting a feel from the feedback from everybody else in the classroom, I'm like, "Oh, well, you should go in this or, try looking at this teacher," and it usually ends up in the right direction, if I tell them. I had one student 2 years ago, who 2 students, so the male student and a female student, and the female didn't really wanna be touched, but she shared with the class and everybody how this guy had she was not afraid to be touched by him, and that was really comforting to hear because, he's this bigger guy and everything, but his touch felt safe. And he does orthopedic work. James Wisłowski's taken his classes, and he's also going to go into the craniosacral route as well. And I think that's where he belongs, for safe touch. That's where he is. And it was really neat to get another student's feedback. And then, of course, for their practicals, I have to get on the table. I have to get all these massages from
Yeah, it's a rough life, isn't it?
it is.
That's a great suggestion, Candy. So, if you're out there kind of struggling and not sure what path to take, what kind of feedback are you getting? You
Yeah.
know, really analyze that feedback that you get from your customers or your coworkers or the people that you're working on, and also to follow your passion. What are you interested in?
Mhm. Always I tell my students too, I'm listen to absolutely everything. What everybody says, hear it all and with an open mind. And what sticks to you, that's yours. Like you get to use that. But whatever sticks, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't wanna force something because
Right.
I think that's where you don't have passion and you're just doing a job,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're just rubbing lotion on people at that point, and, we got plenty of those kinds of people. We want passionate massage therapists that are really invigorated by their work and
Yeah.
excited to learn more.
Yeah. It makes a big difference in your touch too, I think. Like
Ah,
the more you love what you do, they're gonna feel that. They're gonna feel that you're not just rubbing lotion on them.
yep,
It makes a
yep,
difference.
I agree, I agree. Well, I'm so excited to be able to host this year's national convention. I feel like it's me. I'm hosting. No, I'm
That's
just kidding.
awesome.
But I
You're
did want to mention we are having a huge party at my store.
Oh,
And I'm
nice.
going to pass out flyers at the national convention. It'll be Friday night.
Okay.
So I hope you can make it.
Oh, that's awesome. That sounds
Yeah.
like fun.
Yeah. So, do you want to share with us how you got into this profession? That's usually a fun story.
It is, but it's so okay, my story, I have no idea how I got here, but I know that this is where I was meant to be because I realized all the parts, that God was lining up for me to be here. It was, I ran businesses before I went to massage school for other people. I worked at a computer place, knew how to make websites from working there. I ran all the operations for another business and I learned bookkeeping, I learned accounting and all of this stuff. And then I'm like, okay, I worked at a place that was awesome. I was making this guy a lot of money and I was like, we didn't get work done very well. We would end up cursing at each other. And I'm like, okay, well, this sucks. I don't want to be depressed and working all the time. So I tried to find something to do and I drove by the massage school. I was like, okay, I'll check this place out. And I went in, did the whole interview thing. I was like, this sounds good. And I went to my boss and explained it I might go to massage school. And well, I'll give you a raise. So I stayed for another year. And then I finally went back to massage. I'm like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm tired of yelling at you. You're tired of yelling at We yelled at each other to get amazing work done, but it was just yelling. So
Sounds
I went to
exhausting.
it was very exhausting and it was a seasonal company, which was nice. I worked full time, but it was year round where I could take more days off. So I took days off and I went to massage school. And when I was in massage school, they asked that question, why are you here? I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. I'm just here. And then once I started touching the clients when we had our clinicals and everything, I'm like, this is why I'm here.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing to be able to do what I do. And, I was able to start my business right out the gate because of all the past experience I had. And it wasn't too hard for me to gain clientele. Like it took a couple of years, but I had the chiropractor office as well. And then I was packed with people. And, I have marketing experience from the other jobs. I felt like it was like all the building blocks for me to
Yeah.
be where I'm at now.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's so
Yeah.
cool. I mean, not all of us get those building blocks before we just open our business.
Yeah.
And sometimes I recommend that students go work for somebody for a little while
Yeah.
and learn something from them. And sometimes it's what not to do.
Yeah. Yes, that's absolutely true.
I mean, because at some point in my career, I remember working for somebody else and going, oh my gosh, I just need to open my place. I could do this so much better,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes. I feel, that is one thing when you're young and coming in this business. I think there's places like my office where I have people who come into work, but I'll teach you, put your customer service face on, do, but also, you need to be able to enjoy it too. Don't be fake about it. Just if this is what
Right.
you love to do, what you love to do,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You should be authentic and
Right.
real,
Yes.
but as well as honest and just humble about it. I
Right.
mean, yeah, it takes a lot to manage that kind of responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Being authentic and true to yourself, as long as you're being true, it should be easy.
Yeah.
But, it's when drama comes in and, all this other stuff that I think we lose our true authentic selves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is your clients will see that. And if they
Yes.
don't necessarily point it out, but they won't come back or something
Yeah.
feels off,
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had employees, you have employees. It's challenging to have massage employees. I mean, I know
Oh
some
yeah.
people out there listening are trying to manage going from, working for themselves to hiring somebody new or,
Yeah.
starting to hire people. That's a whole nother complicated ball game, right?
It is. Yes. So like I finally learned that if I have a single doubt about just don't even go there. Don't even, because that doubt will grow into something if there's something off. And I've been so blessed to find the people that I vibe with. One, it's really easy for me to find people at the massage school because they've learned
Yeah.
under me, and that's really easy. But I had one of my students worked for me, and she had to move to New Hampshire, and I loved her, and we were such a good match there. And luckily, I had this girl moving in from Oklahoma who was coming in right when she was leaving, and she wasn't even gonna be there full time. She was gonna work at 2 different places, and as soon as I put her on the schedule, before I even announced she was working there, she had 2 clients that booked of my clients that were just checking out my website at the time, which was amazing. And but she is the sweetest, nicest. I've never had any bad vibes or little thought that, "Oh, no, what if she doesn't work out?" But it's just a vibe, it's a presence, and I've had a couple of people here and there who kind of asked to work, but or they hinted towards they wanted to come work with me, and I'm like, I just kinda skip o if I feel that little vibe, I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, it may not work out."
Go
You
with
just
your
gotta learn.
instinct. Yeah. Go with your gut.
Absolutely, and know when to say no, and it's okay, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you have such a comforting presence, Candy. I don't know if you know this about yourself.
I don't, but thank you.
But I mean, just talking with you, you feel very warm and open. You show a little vulnerability, which is really nice. I think this is something that we all can learn from. It's obviously easy for you. I mean,
Yeah,
it comes naturally for you and people find you safe. And that's how your business can grow. And I think some people, it's really hard to make this feel natural,
right.
to make this comfort zone feel normal, right? Like you're in a safe space, especially if you're a guy in this
Yeah,
industry,
yeah.
you
Well,
know?
the number one key that I've learned, and this took work though for me, because all you have to do is be honest with yourself is the main thing. Be honest with yourself. Oh, I suck at this and I'm okay at this. So if I suck, let me work on that. If I can't do it, oh well, just let people know. Hey, I'm not good at that.
Yep.
And and if you just do what you're good at instead of trying to make something up and not be honest, then that's what the people come for you for. Like
Yeah.
I'm I was never good at waiting I said this yesterday to somebody. I could not wait tables.
Mm.
I dumped trays of drinks all over people all the time. I sucked at that.
I
It was
suck at
awful.
it too.
I was so bad. I could not do that. But like I'm honest with people, even with my flaws. And the more honest you are with your flaws, the easier it gets to be honest with your flaws. And that's That's awesome. Like, I am that way with my students. I'm like, "I'm not gonna lie to you about anything." If I missay a word because it's, late at night and I've had clients all day and I forget the name of a joint, I called the iliofemoral joint a glenofemoral joint one time. I'm like, "That's not right." After the words came out of my mouth, I'm like, "I know that's not right, and I'm too tired to tell you what the word is, but I'll remember later." And I went on with the lesson. And then as I'm leaving, I called one of my ex students and I was like, "You never guess what I just said." And he's, "You mean the iliofemoral?" I was like, "Yes." And I texted him all on the way home. I was like, "This is what it is." But, I was honest with my, I'm not smart all the time.
Well, I think that there is real, true, sincere honesty and authenticity in being vulnerable
Oh,
and
yeah.
saying, I was wrong. I made a mistake. Let me make it right.
Yeah.
And I think we get all caught up in the way we look or the way we say something or the way people might perceive us.
Yeah.
But, if we can kind of drop that facade and just go, you know what, we're all human. I mean, gosh, I have a client, this little old lady, she's super sweet, but she's very put together, girl sponge.
Yes.
Texas, a proper Texas lady, okay? She is a proper Texas lady. She came in one time to get her massage, and I'm not kidding. She said to me, I almost canceled my massage today. And again, I'm booked up for 2 or 3 months. There nobody
Yeah.
cancels on me because they can't get back in. And
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, why would you do that? Why would you cancel?" And she goes, "Well, I wasn't feeling real well." And I was like, "Well, what's wrong? You didn't tell me you were sick or anything." And she goes, "I was gassy and I was afraid I was gonna fart when you pushed on
Oh.
my back." And I'm
Oh.
like, "Honey, if you need to fart when I push on your back, you just let her rip, okay?"
Right, exactly. It happens all the time, it's
That's
okay.
right. That's right. It's true.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you wanna share about you or your business or
I know Lucy, when she talked to you, she was talking a lot about the Avasia,
yeah.
and I never got into that with any of this. So, our
Oh,
state
yeah.
recently allowed us to use microcurrent, and been using a lot of that was for scar tissue release and everything, and the different things that they train us to use it for. And I've had a lot of good results with it. That's more of a visual thing though. Like, I've done a lot of scar tissue release. I had one client who had severe endometriosis, and I actually I'm learning, from the first alternatives folks who were there at the national AMTA and conventions. And then I also have been learning from a guy in Texas that I happened to come across. I've been working with him over the phone on some techniques with the Vasia, and he had told me about scar tissue release, but with endometriosis. And so I had done that to one of my clients, and we had amazing results. Like, her intention was not to get pregnant, but she was not able to get pregnant. And after working with her, she was able to get pregnant. And that's one of the most amazing results I've had with that.
That's pretty cool.
So,
It says Evasia is a machine, correct?
yeah, yes, it's a microcurrent machine. It's similar to the dolphins. I had dolphins too. I used those before too.
So many tools and stuff that go along with massage. I think this goes along with the conversation about the modalities, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and, you know, I like to advise people. I know tools are fun and we wanna buy buy them all, and I sell them at my massage store, so I don't wanna stop people from buying them. But, I mean, you do have to kinda think about what's your strategy in your business before
Yeah.
you go
Yeah.
buying all this stuff. Because 'cause I'm sure the Vazia machine is expensive. I
It
teach
is.
meta cupping, and the cupping machines, it's $500. I mean,
Yeah.
so, I think before you go out and buy a bunch of tools, you kinda really have to talk to other therapists like us that use it on a regular to see what results they're getting, you
Yeah.
know? And is that the same thing that your customer base is needing?
Right.
Does that
I'm
match?
Yeah. I do, like, with especially with my students, I'll bring in some of my extra tools when we rarely have spare time, but when we do have a little bit of time, I'll let them play with those so they can get to know. I do have a metacupping machine. I don't use it very often. I just got it. not too long ago because I see how much easier it is than regular
Yep.
cupping to do when you're
Yep.
doing cupping.
Yep.
But I brought it in and let people play with them, the
Yeah.
students play with them. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
because students, I mean, I think we need to play with stuff before
Right.
we know what to get and what we
Yeah.
want to do, you know?
Yeah.
And playing with stuff is fun.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't get a chance to play with it, you might end up with a closet full of things, and I've got a little bit of that going.
Oh, well, I don't think that's bad. I got a bunch
Yeah.
of closets of things. Well, good. Thank you so much for taking your time today, Candy.
Thank you.
I
Thank you for
appreciate
having me.
all the work and time that you contribute to our industry, and your
Thank you.
knowledge and passion for it is really appreciated. And I
Oh,
know
thank
we
you.
don't get thanked enough.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing too. This is amazing.
Yes,
Spreading the
thank you.
word on everything. That's great.
Well, we've all got to talk really loud to make people hear us.
Yes.
But, I'm happy to provide a platform for people to hear their voice.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you. Thanks.
Uh-huh.
Candy.
Thank you so much for joining me on the Handcrafted Therapy podcast. I would love to hear from you. You can email us at podcast@handcraftedtherapy.com, or you can come by the store. It's at 3303 North Central Expressway, suite number 240 in Plano, Texas, 75023. Or you can connect with me on social, Instagram, Facebook, #HandcraftedTherapy. I'm Julie Alexander, and I wish you a very happy and healthy day.